This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, Davion. I'm joined by Oronde.
What's good?
Lillian.
What's up?
And Matt.
What up?
How we doing, y'all?
Vibing.
I'm doing great.
I'm doing good.
Good. I tell y'all, I've always said for forever, this is my favorite time of the year. Seeing everybody move and go to different places is genuinely it's so much fun, man, because it really makes and breaks NFL season. So if you don't know, right now it is the NFL free agency, and today we're going to come on and talk about some of the moves that are happening, some of the rumors that are happening, and all the drama around Aaron Rodgers, because every offseason there's going to be some. But yeah, first off, man, since we started talking about it, let's just jump in right into Aaron Rodgers, man. So today reports came out that everything that's been leaked, that he's going to the Jets and that he's asked about those players, he wants those certain players and his receiving core, are all true. He came out and confirmed it, and he pretty much said that it's inevitable. It's inevitably going to happen, him playing for the Jets. How do we feel about that move for the Jets and for him?
Why is he coming to the AFC East?
Huh?
I said, why is he coming to the AFC East? There's no point.
Coming to the AFC East, there's no point.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he wants to be able to, I guess, win at a high level, and I guess the team that he's choosing is the Jets. I mean, last season they were a quarterback away from making the playoffs. And I mean, with an addition to Aaron Rodgers, is he in his prime? Or is he still able to be that good? We don't know. Maybe they should take me personally, I think they should go after Lamar Jackson instead. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has 4 years left in him, let alone maybe not even 2. And so that's why I feel like he's past his prime, and it's time for people to start moving on from the Aaron Rodgers show.
He barely even beat the Patriots last time, so now he has to play them twice a year.
True.
Mm.
What am I trying to think? This Rodgers situation is just so goofy to me.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like there's always something up with him, no matter what. But I think this is a good idea for him. He gets a second chance with a much better team, I think, than the Packers now. You have a young core. You have a great defense, not great, but you have a very good young defense. And I think obviously they're in that near win now mode. So why not go after him and have him for maybe 2, maybe 3 years? But I think it's a good move for Rodgers if he goes. Yeah, obviously, I've heard, they're just kind of waiting on the compensation. So
yeah,
I think I think Green Bay probably will get a second round pick out of him.
I heard they were asking for 2 first, which is laughable.
There's no way. He's too old. He's great, but it's just not. That's too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
So, jumping around, we're not going to sit here and talk about Rodgers the entire time. Lamar Jackson, he's currently in this standoff right now with their Baltimore Ravens. They threw a non-exclusive tag on him today. I think he was able to start talking to other teams. How do we feel about that whole situation? Where do we think Lamar will end up playing next season?
I would like to see him go to ATL. That would be my favorite place for him to go.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a good option. Again, it sounded like they were out on him, but who knows? Anything can happen. I think more likely he's going to sign back with Baltimore, though, because they're just going to match his offer for whatever he gets lowballed for, I feel like, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think really what the Ravens are doing, they're letting the teams do the dirty work for them. They're just seeing whatever he's worth, and they'll pay him whatever the rest of the NFL thinks he's worth.
And what did he say he turned down in 3 years, 133 million?
Yeah, so that's about what, 40 something a year, 44 a year.
Yeah, around that range.
I think he just wanted longer deal.
I mean, he's asking for Deshaun Watson money,
Yeah.
and Watson just completely destroyed the QB market. So
Quite frankly, Watson shouldn't have gotten what he got.
no,
I mean, he was never that good.
no.
I don't think any quarterback is 250 million guaranteed good.
The only
Maybe,
person
I got one.
who could get that money right now is his $500 million contract, but
But like, he was close to being that good, but after sitting out an entire year, paying him that much was a risk.
Yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes definitely deserves that. I mean, if anybody in the NFL does, it's him. Him, maybe Joe Burrow. You can argue that.
Burrow for sure.
But other than
Josh
that,
Allen.
man, those are the guys. That's it.
I wouldn't say Josh Allen.
You don't
Just
think?
Due to my
No.
bias, I'm not even going to
So
elaborate.
okay, I would say yes, and only
I
because
think
like
it has to be those three.
he's one. Yeah, and I mean, but if you throw Josh Allen in, then you have to throw in Justin Herbert. Like you have to.
If Hurts can reproduce it this year, then he deserves to be in that conversation. But he
Sure.
only has had that.
I think
one
Josh
big
Allen
year.
is a significantly more down year than people think he did.
Oh,
Definitely.
Whoa, I
No, it's
disagree.
not a bad.
He didn't stay
This-
healthy the whole year.
It was.
He's got a point.
Listen, I'm definitely one of those people who are on the like Josh Allen is a good quarterback. Well, arguably could be a top quarterback in the league for the next 10 years at least. And I definitely think like he shouldn't have gotten as much slack as that he got. I mean, they're playing in the AFC. And this is the hardest we've seen any conference in forever. I mean, they play the Chiefs, they play the Ravens when they're good. They play the Bengals. I mean, they play the Chargers. They play these teams that are like these aren't easy games. And so week in and week out, you have to compete against great teams to really like make a name for yourself. And it just gets hard. And I feel like they weren't bad. I think the other teams were just that good. I mean, the Chiefs are outstanding. We know that. The Bengals are outstanding. And we know that. Like these are two teams that could beat any other team in the NFL, including them. So it's like for me, it's like that's why it's a little shaky. And that's why I think they're like better. And that's why I wouldn't like put so much trash on Josh Allen.
No, I think he had a good season. I just don't think it was Pat Mahomes level.
No,
Or
yeah,
even
I
Jalen
agree.
Hurts. I think playing through that elbow injury hurt him a lot.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
his
definitely.
numbers are down across the board. It's almost the same.
I
but
mean, passing wise, his numbers were lower than Jared Goff.
I mean, that's
Goff,
such a
the
drastic.
He
I
had
mean, whoa,
stuff on
whoa,
tape.
whoa. I mean,
Jared Goff, their fantasy goat.
I mean, that offense was that offense up in Detroit was ridiculous though.
I loved every second of it.
They
Yeah,
were
they were
so high powered and gunslinging and like scoring. I mean, at one point I think they averaged like 36 points a game.
Yes, and the
And
first
so-
6 games was 36 points a game.
And so yeah, I don't think we can kill him too much. I mean, Jared Goff had a good season, and
I'm not saying we should kill him, but I'm like, if we're putting like Josh Allen up on this pedestal, we gotta look at around the league.
valid.
And that's not me saying Jared Goff is even really in the same level, but
Stat wise, he was. Well, moving on to some running backs in the NFC South. Panthers have signed Miles Sanders from the Philly. The Saints have signed Jamal Williams from Detroit. Panthers fans, how do we feel about that that pickup from Miles Sanders?
I don't think it's bad. Sanders came off his best year he's had all his whole career.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had a really good O-line, and it will be completely different now in Carolina. It's not as good, but it's still solid. And I think he mainly went here because of Deuce Staley. I think he just really likes Deuce Staley's coaching and just the culture that he builds with the teams that he's been with in Detroit and in Philly as well. So I'm excited. I also hope they potentially sign Foreman back to have that, 1-2 punch with those two, I think would be great, but we'll see.
It is a good pickup when they also signed Hayden Hurst earlier
Yes, I like that one
today.
too.
And he is good in the run blocking category, and great on like swing routes and stuff when it goes to the running back.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think it's a good pickup for the Panthers for sure. I mean, it just works, and I mean, it just adds some depth to that running back position.
But speaking of running backs, even though I need to, the Patriots need to save their money for more important signings, I kind of would like to see Zeke like recover his career in New England. Because we did it for like Garrett Blunt when he had a down year in Philly. Came, ran for 2 1,000-yard seasons and then left.
I mean, what New York team? Jets? Hello?
Who's that?
I said, what New York team? The Jets?
It's so buggy.
We get a lot of
Yes. Yeah, so I feel like when it comes to the Saints picking up Jamal Williams, I like it a lot, man. Like him and Alvin Kamara are gonna just bounce off each other. I mean, what the Saints are doing right now it's honestly been so much fun. I mean, from us always having no cap space and no money to now signing Jamal Williams to a 3-year deal for $12 million total. I mean, that works for me and honestly, it's surprisingly kind of cheap. So honestly, I can see the Saints, and honestly, I thought it was gonna be an offseason for New Orleans, but I can see the Saints now competing with the Panthers for that division. I honestly thought it was gonna be Carolina's plain and simple. I thought it was gonna be over. But for them to go out and get Derek Carr and now Jamal Williams, adding some help to that defensive line. I know we lost a couple guys, but it's definitely been steps in the right direction for New Orleans, man. So jump into staying in the NFC South. The Carolina Panthers acquired the #1 pick in the draft. I think it was 2 first-round picks, DJ Moore and a second.
2 seconds.
Yeah, in 2 seconds for that first overall pick from Chicago.
Mhm.
Matt, how do you feel about that, and where do you think y'all are gonna go?
First of all, I respect what Tepper is doing because I don't think they've been this aggressive in 10 plus years since I've seen this franchise come along. And I mean, Tepper's been making the right moves. He wants that new coaching staff. He wants the experience. He wants to go get that rookie QB and develop him. So why not go and get him? So I'm glad they did this. It's better that they do this and fail than do nothing and still fail. Who I wish they get, I'm fine with Stroud or Young. I'm leaning more towards Stroud just based on his size alone, but Young is probably the most talented QB in this whole class. Great arm talent, like nothing wrong. It's just his size is a little concerning, but that's not that drastic to me. And also, what's good with this trade now is usually with QBs that get picked this high, they end up having, being on teams with no O-line or no defense. And I think the Panthers have finally gotten a decent O-line. And I'm not saying that it's a great defense, but a good defense to help him improve for the next, hopefully, 5 to 10 years. So we'll just see how this goes. But I'm excited.
I definitely think they've done their due diligence to like add help around him. They've definitely gotten players in almost every position to really help whoever that quarterback is look good. So I've been hearing, how do you feel about them trading away that pick to the Colts? and then picking up Anthony Richardson?
To me, it's a smokescreen. There's just no way you trade out, because I think the only way you trade back is with Houston, and just say like, hey, if Houston's like, that desperate, they're like, oh, like they want Bryce Young, let's say.
Yeah.
Then you trade back, get there first, maybe another draft pick, maybe the idea of throwing in Brandon Cooks, something like that. That's probably the only way I see him trading back. But there's no shot they trade out of the top 3. I don't think.
They have
yeah.
pick 1, second round pick number 39, third round pick, 2 fourths, and 1 fifth round pick. So that's all the draft capital that they have left right now.
Also, yeah, and like with that trade, yes, they got rid of a lot of picks, but like they came out okay with this draft too. Like they still have a solid amount of picks, and they can still do something with it. So that's why I'm pretty excited too.
I think another big thing is there have been rumors that they're willing to shop Matt Corral and that third round pick together. And that could get them a very, very reliable receiver somewhere in the trade market.
Oh yeah, I definitely think like this is only day 2 or day 3, and there's still so much to like have to be done right now. And like there's so many players that are still gonna be on the move, and there's so many quarterbacks that still need to find a home. I mean, jumping into quarterbacks who found a home. I mean, Jimmy G signed with the Raiders. Baker Mayfield signed with the Buccaneers. What am I missing?
Derek Carr, obviously.
Derek Carr with New Orleans.
Let's see. That's a great question. I mean, Sam Darnold to the Niners.
Oh yeah, that too. I mean, Jacoby Brissett signed with the Commanders today as a backup. Don't know what they're. I mean, is Sam Hall going to be their quarterback, or are they going to move for Lamar? I mean, that's what I think anyway. I feel like there's just so much that still is bound to happen. I mean, Eagles released are planning to release Slate today or in the coming days. And there's just so much that is going on when it comes to these quarterbacks and just all these free agents right now. So far, what's been like one of your favorite moves that your team has done, or that you've just liked so far?
I mean, as a Lions fan, personally, right now, my favorite move would probably be the Cam Sutton signing. I mean, just widely underrated corner for the Steelers last year. And for a team that has essentially zero depth at the corner position, I think picking him up with the stats he put up last year, is going to be massive. Then they signed Emmanuel Mosley next to him, and you still have the number 6 pick. So I think between that signing and the loss of Deshaun Elliott to the Dolphins, you see probably a Kuda move to safety. And I think the Lions, the secondary will look much improved.
I unfortunately would have to say the Pat signing Juju, basically flipping Jacoby Myers. Now, we could have paid Jacoby. Jacoby is a great, comfortable number 1 receiver that the Pats had, but we let him walk for Juju. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, so
hey, don't get on Super Bowl champion Juju Smith-Schuster.
Hilarious. That's jokes. Do you like Juju though? Like, do you like the pickup?
I mean, I like him. He's a great number 2. We've all seen him as a great number 2 receiver, but he kind of goes quiet when he's the number 1 option. Now, I was just talking with somebody earlier. Juju, Devontae are great, or at least good in the midfield and taking off the top of your defense.
Yeah,
but those are the veterans of our receiving core. We have Tyquan Thornton. His going into his 2nd year. He's a great jump ball guy, but he's not good for the short and middle stuff. So it's like, who do we have?
I was gonna say probably so far, I think the Panthers' best move was picking up Bradley Bozeman's option again, signing him back. I think it's good to just have, all your O linemen that you've had from the last year and just bring them back. I think that's good for the chemistry. That's probably the biggest move they made so far. I do like the Miles Sanders one as well. But yeah, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like Derek Carr was what I've wanted since day one. Like I wanted us to wanted us to pick him up since the season ended. And honestly, I'm glad we did it because I feel like people are like, oh, he's terrible. Like he's been on the Raiders and they've been so bad. I mean, he's had a sub 28 defense dang near every season he's been in the league. Like, what do you expect? Like um that's just not how this works. And so I'm genuinely like so happy that we picked him up because I think he can be the real deal and he can be an elite passer of the football like we have seen him be over the past couple seasons. He was just under a terrible staff last season. He had John Gruden 3 seasons ago. I mean, he was just in a mess with the Raiders. So now hopefully, he can get some stability in New Orleans. Granted, I mean, we don't know what Dennis Allen looks like as a head coach next season, but he has to prove himself this season. And that's why I think like we really have a couple of things to really look out this season. I mean, me personally, I don't think this season is our season, but well, depending on as of now, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it might actually end up being the season that we've been needing for a while. So jumping around, do we think the Super Bowl champs have gotten any better?
I mean, I don't think they've gotten any worse. I don't want to say better. They haven't gotten worse.
It will be interesting where Orlando Brown goes after
Yeah.
losing him. That's probably the biggest question mark for them. But I know they got, is it Jawan Taylor? Is that his name? From the Jaguars?
Yeah.
That's not a bad signing for them. But again, losing your, in my opinion, their best O lineman, that's going to be the difference maker, especially your left tackle, who has to defend the best QB in the league. So I think they'll still be just as good. I think you could put anyone in that offense and they'll be perfectly fine.
Agreed.
It's just Mahomes, man. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they went after a D-Hop or traded for someone similar to that. They can do anything.
Some of their free agents that they still need to re-sign include obviously Orlando Brown. They have Frank Clark on the table, Carlos Dunlap, who's still a really good veteran D end. Jerick McKinnon, they're one of their dual backs. Mecole Hardman is on the table as well. So they have a couple of options that they can re-sign for maybe the same, if not a little bit less money.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think they have anything to be worried about. I mean, like Matt said, you have the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Plain and simple. That's gonna work for you. But so jumping around some more, Lions signed David Montgomery last night. Lillian, how do you feel about that?
Signing David Montgomery is very bittersweet. I mean, we're going to miss Jamal Williams a lot. The locker room presence he brought was huge. But, I mean, realistically speaking about his ability, running the ball, almost all of his touchdowns came from the goal line range. So the skill upgrade from David Montgomery is going to be phenomenal. I mean, especially behind the Lions' offensive line. I'm going to miss Jamal, but I'm very excited to see how Montgomery compare with DeAndre Swift and the numbers that he puts up this year. I think he could be 1,000-yard rusher.
I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, I would say that running back tandem worked last season, and we saw that like he was on the brink of like stardom. Like he was on the brink of like that next step, and so I think it's a good move. I mean, it adds a power back to that system, and it works especially when you have to play those games in Chicago. He knows how to play it. He knows how to run the ball, and so that'll definitely help you because you have to go to Chicago and Green Bay twice, or well once. But and I think that'll really help y'all in those situations. How we feel about Zeke, man, being released from the Dallas Cowboys?
I think it's a shame, even though I know Tony Pollard's better than Zeke is, and Zeke was unfortunately the picking of knee injuries, but he's already been paid $70 million over the last 7 years by Dallas, and he's actually the second highest paid running back behind Adrian Peterson. So he's got his money. Dallas got their money's worth of him, but now he needs to go elsewhere, which I did say earlier. It would be kind of cool to see him come to New England as just an extra down bag. You can never have too many running backs. At the end of the day, in this current time of the NFL, you can never have too many running backs. And obviously, he's not going to make nearly as much money anymore.
Yeah, especially when running backs are going down by the handfuls in preseason. So it's definitely always good to have them on hand. But I don't know. Zeke is. Listen, I've been saying it for seasons, man. Zeke is. I hate to say this out loud, but he's washed. He's done. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
done.
He's not Devontae Foreman washed.
No.
No, he
No.
isn't. But he's definitely pretty bad. But I mean, hopefully he can find a new home somewhere else. Whoever wants him I'm pretty sure they'll scoop him up. I don't think he'll go fast, but I think he'll be good to add some.
Do y'all have an idea where he would go?
No idea. I can't even tell you off the top of my head who's running back needy, but the league average is about
Buffalo?
2.5 million
Buffalo?
a year.
No, don't come.
I think I saw the odds recently. Buffalo was near the top.
Oh,
They were like second or something in the odds for him. The Chargers are currently leading the odds. I think because Eckler's asking for a trade. So I don't think the Chargers. I don't think that'd be a terrible signing.
yeah, I agree.
I forgot about
Oh,
the
the
Chargers.
yeah.
I mean, I've also heard the Bucks, but I don't think that's going to happen at all.
Well, they're gonna need.
They need everything right now.
I was gonna say they're gonna need a
They're
lot.
in trouble.
They don't even know I don't even think they know what they're doing at this point. They were swimming in cap space and now they're just trying to figure out. They're just trying to stay ahead right now.
Yeah.
But so before we head out of here, any final thoughts or any final things about this free agency so far?
Let's see.
It's living up to last season. I'm not gonna lie. It's up there.
Oh yeah, I mean, and in the first day, this was. It's
also it's fun to watch Adam Schefter get dunked on. He's the worst of the reporters.
Yeah, that was so sad to look at, but it did happen. He let Aaron Rodgers like put him to shame. I'm so disappointed.
I might buy that shirt.
Poor Adam. Poor Adam. Anyone else? Well, I appreciate y'all for joining. I think y'all for listening. It's been a good one. I think we're gonna try to come back weekly and talk about these moves, or if anything crazy happens, we'll come back and talk about them as well. Yeah, thank you for listening. And we get this far. Leave a comment on your favorite team, and leave a comment who you think is gonna be the best pickup in addition this season for any team. I appreciate y'all for listening. Matt, Lillian, Oronde, thank y'all for joining. My name is Davion. This has been the post game. Peace.